Morning, everybody. This is your Wednesday Chiro Stories, edition 2. I'm going to call this India. So, several years ago, I had a patient that I'd been taking care of for a long time, her and her boys. The boys actually grew up in my office, and she is from India. She had married someone here in America, and so her and her boys had been coming in, and they were little boys, and they grew up in the office. And one day, she came in and she said, Dr. Young, my father is coming to visit, and I really encourage them to come from India because I want to see if you can help him. He had been on a scooter and got hit by a car. And after he got hit by a car, he had head damage, brain damage. And so he'd been in a hospital for several months. And when he got out, they couldn't help him. He's basically an invalid. He can't read. He can't speak. Really, he can't take care of himself. He just wanders around. He smiles. He sees you, but he doesn't know who you are. And he can't dress himself. And this has been going on for 3 years, and we've had him to the top, everybody, and no one can help him. So just like a true chiropractor, I said, well, let me see what I can do. So they come in, they fly over, they get him here, and they fly over. And first thing I do is take an x-ray. And I'll never forget this x-ray. His atlas was so far up inside of the occiput, up in the base of the skull, that you couldn't see it. I didn't think he had an atlas, and I had to do some different views to actually find it. I'll never forget it. And so he would come in, and every single time he would smile, and I would help him get on the table, and we'd get him on his back. His wife and Vanita, his daughter, would help me, and we'd get him on his back. And the only thing I adjusted was the occiput, and I came up under it on the left side, and I went inferior to superior, and I moved it. And the first time I adjusted it, it literally sounded like a small explosion went off, and his eyes got so big. I'll never forget how big his eyes got. And he didn't know what to think because he didn't understand. Moved, helped him up, told them I'll see him tomorrow. I saw him 3 times a week. And every time it was the same thing. He would come in, we put him in, I'd adjust him. No change, no change, no change, no change. So they were getting ready to leave and go to London because Vanita's other sister lived there, and they were going to go visit there. On his last 2 visits, 6 weeks in, he come in and he smiled and he shook my hand the first day and he said, good morning. And it kind of caught me off guard because he'd never spoke to me before. So I said, good morning. And, of course, we're busy, and I'm not because he'd been coming in for 6 weeks, right? So I laid him on his back, adjusted the occiput. I helped him up, and he turned and he grabbed my hand and he said, thank you, Dr. Young. And again, he had never even acknowledged me. So I thought, well, that's interesting. They leave, they come back the next day on Wednesday. It's their last visit. He said, good morning, Dr. Young. I adjusted him. He gives me a hug, his wife gives me a hug, and they leave. So fast forward, that was on a Wednesday. The following week, Vanita comes in with the boys, and she's sitting in a chair in my office, and one of the boys is on a table. And as I'm getting ready to adjust Max, I look up, and Vanita's crying. She's got tears running down her face. And it startled me. I took my hands off Max. I said, Vanita, are you okay? And she said, I am, and I know you're busy, and I'm sorry, but do you have a minute for me to tell you something? So I set Max up. I have a very strict rule. When you're speaking or someone's speaking to you, take your hands off your patient. You're not focused. But with that being said, she said, I need to tell you something. Last week after we left, me and Mom took Dad to Walmart. We needed to go get some things for their trip. They're flying all night to London. They wanted some snacks and some things for travel. She said, we lost Dad. We didn't know where he went. And we went to find him, and he is walking down the aisles at Walmart, and he's finding things on the floor, or they're out of place, and he's putting them back exactly where they belong. And we thought, this is extremely unusual. And he's making eye contact, and he's starting to talk. He hadn't talked in 3 years. She said, I got a call from my sister wanting to know what happened. She said, Dad is getting up every morning. He takes a shower, he gets dressed, he takes a walk past Sherwood Forest, he comes back, he gets on his computer, he's studying Indian history, he's playing wiffle ball. Right now, he's playing wiffle ball out in the front yard with the boys. What happened? He's back. And she said, I don't know how to tell you what a miracle this is. My whole family is blown away. He's been gone for 3 years, and now he's back. Man, it was one of the most profound moments, one of them in my chiropractic career, when you stop and think, wait a minute, what just happened? What created this? Where did this come from? Now, the crazy part of the story is, 2 years later, Vanita comes in and Dad passed away of a heart attack. And I was crushed. I'm so sorry, Vanita. She goes, oh no, you don't understand. He was been gone for 3 years. We got him back for 2. So the miracle that we actually got him back and got to spend 2 years with him before he passed, we are celebrating this time. I thought, how beautiful was that? I was still crushed because I thought, man. So what an amazing story. And so what I want you guys to do as you're listening to this, and those of you taking the time to listen to the story, I want you to ask yourself, what was it about the chiropractic adjustment, the movement of the occiput? What happened? What created this person's body and brain to start communicating again? These are the questions I want you to ask. This is what I think is beautiful about chiropractic, is that we can share these stories. And I know some of you out there have heard in school, and you were taught that these are anecdotal stories and they have no place in chiropractic. My hero and mentor, Dr. Hugo Gibson, used to tell us these stories in chiropractic school, which gave us hope, gave us dreams, gave us purpose. And then he was fired because those stories have no place in chiropractic school. Broke my heart, but I am going to continue to share them because I want you to remember something. Chiropractic itself, D.D. Palmer adjusted Harvey Lillard. His hearing came back as an anecdotal story. No one was there, no one can prove it, but we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation if it never had happened, if the story hadn't been told. That's why I will continue to tell these stories, continue to hopefully inspire you to go do something special. I love you, chiropractic. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. I love y'all. Bye.